everyone, welcome to Married with Wrestling. I'm Susan.
I'm Chris. We haven't seen you guys in a while. We took a couple weeks off to prep for WrestleMania, because honestly there wasn't much to talk about, because we knew we were just going to eventually talk about WrestleMania. So I know we're a couple days later than everybody else, but we have jobs that aren't this, so, you know, we have to do those, because that's what brings money in. But if you're curious about our reactions to WrestleMania, here we are. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through each match in night 1 and night 2, kind of give some thoughts on it, and maybe some potential where's this story going to go with it. So night 1 started with the World Heavyweight Championship match between Jey Uso and Gunther. I went into this match pretty sure Gunther was going to lose.
Yeah.
I like Jey Uso, but I didn't really want Gunther to lose because I don't feel like Gunther had that great of a reign. I feel like he could have done some different feuds. He kind of just redid his Intercontinental feuds, including Jey Uso. But what really I didn't like about this match was the ending. The match itself was fine. But the ending, Jey Uso hit Gunther with 3 splashes, which is fine. And then he put Gunther in a sleeper hold, which would have been fine. But what happened was Gunther was in that hole for about 5 seconds and tapped out. I think they should have gone the route of Gunther just passing out. Because he knocked Jimmy unconscious with the sleeper hold. So to me it made more sense for Jey to knock him out. Just as a way of, I've overpowered you so much that I put your ass to sleep.
Yeah.
Gunther tapped out in 5 seconds, and then Gunther was gone. There was no sign of respect. I thought we might do something with that. No, Gunther was just gone. So I don't agree with the way the match ended. I understand the result the way that it is. Like I said, I wish Gunther would have got a little bit longer. But in the end, I think the result, I think everybody knew what was coming. I don't think anybody pictured Gunther winning. But overall, good match, good way to start the show. It was a good feel-good moment for the crowd. Everybody got to eat and everything.
Yeah.
Jey Uso got absolutely smashed and did his press conference after. So, yeah, it was fine. The next match after that was the New Day and the War Raiders. This match could have happened on Raw. The way that the match ended, and just with who was involved, there was no Big E spot, because I told you, maybe this is on Mania because we're going to do something with Big E, and we did absolutely nothing with Big E. The way the match ended was something that could have easily happened on Raw. There wasn't anything really that screamed WrestleMania to me about it. I think it would have been the better choice to do the TLC match that they've announced for SmackDown this week, which is Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits in a TLC match. Yeah. I would have put that match on Mania and added Los Garza, is what I would have done. Or no, not Los Garza, Pretty Deadly. I'd have added Pretty Deadly.
That would have been fine.
And I would have had Pretty Deadly win, because Pretty Deadly is always the overlooked group in all of this. I think it would have made for a nice story. I know the Street Profits just got the titles back, but I think this would have been a good opportunity to crown Pretty Deadly, and I think the crowd would have been up for it. So I'm of the opinion that, you know, I'm fine with the New Day winning the tag titles. It helps their heel turn. Yeah. But I just think the SmackDown match would have been better with more pageantry. I would have enjoyed that more, I think. And the tag division on SmackDown's been built very well. The tag division on Raw, the War Raiders were gone for a while. Judgment Day really didn't defend. So I just didn't feel like the World Tag Team Championships over on Raw were justified to be on Mania the way the SmackDown titles would have been.
Yeah. It was kind of boring.
Yeah. So after that, we had Naomi versus Jade. So this one's a little complicated because we were hit with a major storm during WrestleMania, and this is the match where the power went out. And by the time I loaded Peacock back on my phone after we realized that the power wasn't coming back for a little bit, the match was pretty much over. So I don't have much to say on this. Jade Cargill won the match, which I kind of figured would happen.
Yeah.
Faces
typically win?
Not always.
Typically. I didn't say always. I said typically.
It depends. Last year was very face heavy.
Yeah.
But you know, I wouldn't have been upset if Naomi would have won, because I think you could have done more with that.
More with the story, like,
yeah,
it's kind of. I don't want to say I haven't enjoyed it, but I feel like they played it too safe.
I agree. I will still die on the hill that Naomi should have been a red herring and Bianca should have been the real attacker. I will die on that hill.
I was kind of wondering if maybe Bianca would be involved somehow. Mm-hmm. Like, even if she came to just mess up Naomi from winning. Like, I thought she would make some kind of appearance.
Yeah,
But...
And Naomi or Jade didn't make an appearance in the women's triple threat on night 2.
Honestly, maybe Bianca did and we just don't know it. Well, no, we would have known because we were watching the end.
Yeah, we would have. They would have shown her. They would have showed her. But we'll get into when we get into night 2. I'll talk a little bit more about how that would have looked on my end with Naomi and Jade being involved. But yeah, Jade won. Don't have much to say about this because Power went out in the middle of it.
Yeah.
After that was Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. This is another instance where I knew LA Knight was losing going in. Jacob Fatu hasn't lost yet.
How? I really like LA Knight. I know that you really like LA Knight, but how in the world was he going to beat Jacob Fatu?
But I'm not mad at it because I'm a big Jacob Fatu guy as well.
Yeah.
And I think this will just create more friction between him and Solo and Tamatanga.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with this outcome. Honestly, I know LA Knight just got the title back from Shinsuke, but LA Knight's a good person for Jacob Fatu to get it off of because LA Knight can chase for a little bit before he moves on to something else. I am kind of hoping, this is kind of a spoiler for the Night 2 results, but it's been everywhere, so I'm sure you've seen it. I would be perfectly okay with LA Knight being one of the people that tries to go after John Cena. I think that would be a fun feud.
Fun. Yeah.
That would be a fun feud.
Like that.
I would love to watch those two go at it on the stick.
Yes.
I think that would be really fun.
I agree. I concur.
Yeah, so I think LA Knight could do that. I'm worried he's going to be stuck at Samoan land, chasing Jacob Fatu for a little bit, but end that at Backlash and let him... A lot of people have said...
Is Backlash the next pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people have said let Cody chase Cena for a little bit.
I want him to.
I think Cody should take some time off to reflect.
Oh. Yeah.
And maybe do something else at SummerSlam. I think LA Knight and John Cena would be a fun SummerSlam feud.
I agree.
I would like to see those two feud through the summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, not mad about that result. I like both guys. After that, we had El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. Rey Mysterio was originally announced for this match. I think he was pulled on the day of the show. I don't know if that was kayfabe or not.
Yeah.
But this is another match that I felt like could have happened on Raw.
I thought there was going to be more to happen.
Yeah, because what happened was...
Like, I mean, maybe there was planned to be before Rey got hurt.
Maybe, but... El Grande Americano just stuck the steel plate in his mask like he's done the past couple matches he's won. He just beat Rey Fenix like that. So I don't... That match could have been on Raw as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Night 1 was as strong as Night 2 with the exception of the main events. But yeah, I just felt this was another match that could have happened on TV because nothing really significant came out of it. There was no revelations about who El Grande Americano was.
Yeah.
American Made didn't even show up in the match, and neither did the LWO. So I felt this was something... I'm glad Rey Fenix got on Mania, because I've been a Rey Fenix guy for a long, long, long time, and I've really missed him since whatever AEW did to him was done. This was a Raw match. Plain and simple. Yes. So after Grande Americano and Rey Fenix was Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. I went into this match expecting Charlotte Flair to win, and I was beyond...
Hoping that Tiffany would
win.
win.
You and I both went, and we were like, you know what, we're just going to expect Charlotte. That way, if Tiffany does happen to win, it'll be a nice surprise. Yeah. And Tiffany won.
It was a good match.
It was. And she won clean.
And I love whenever women come out of it with, like, you can tell they went to war. She had, like, a chipped tooth and, like a bump or something on her head. And you can tell she had a battle. And I liked it.
And during the build-up to the match, you know, you and I have talked a lot of shit about Charlotte Flair since she won the Royal Rumble. But one thing I do have to admit is in the promos leading up to it, Charlotte Flair, I think, said that no matter what she's doing when she's on WrestleMania, she's out to put on the best match of the night. Yeah. And I do think she does do that.
Yeah, I think she's an excellent wrestler.
While I think Charlotte's overpushed, especially with titles, I don't really expect her to have bad matches.
No.
Because she's good at what she does in the ring. On the mic, I feel like her and Becky Lynch are kind of bizarros. Where Becky's good on the mic, Charlotte's not. Charlotte's much better in the ring than Becky is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great match. Tiffany retained. I was super happy about that. And great spot for her. That's a really good investment in showing your investment in the future.
Yeah.
The same thing with Jacob Fatu, because he's so young. I forget how young he is. I'm not even sure if he's 30 or if he's in his early 30s. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's a pretty young guy. So I thought that was a great showing of WWE saying we can push the future. We don't have to rely on old things.
Yes.
That leaves the main event for night one, which is Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. I've been saying for weeks that Paul Heyman was the most interesting character in this story, and that's coming from three dudes that I like pretty well. And I ended up being right. So the match itself was really good. It was probably the best match of the weekend. I think it's got to be up there. I think it's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
For the best match of the weekend. Roman just looked like a force of nature throughout the whole thing. But the ending was where it got really interesting. We had Roman was down, Punk was down. Heyman had a chair. Heyman gives it to Punk, tells Punk to hit Roman. Punk gets hit in the nuts. Paul Heyman turns on him. Heyman literally crawls on his knees over to Roman, offering the chair to Roman. And Roman took the chair, and he was like, Seth Rollins is over there. Go get Seth Rollins. And Roman Reigns had the chair, and he was getting ready to hit Rollins, and Heyman drops and hits Roman in the nuts, turning on Roman. I saw something online where they said that Paul Heyman should have done the chair shot, the one that keeps getting Roman. And honestly, yeah, I'd have been fine with that too. If Heyman would have had a second chair and picked it up and hit Roman in the back with the chair, I'd have been fine with that too. But the nut shot's fun because he's Weasley.
Yeah.
And that's like the most cowardly way to do it.
And then he was like bowing to Rollins.
To Rollins, yeah. So Seth Rollins won that match, which I was super excited for because I thought he was the one that deserved to win it, especially after everything that he did for WrestleMania last year.
I mean, Rollins was my favorite out of those three.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Rollins.
Yeah. But I like this because it also gives all three guys something new to do. Mm-hmm. Rollins has never worked with Heyman in this capacity before, so I'm excited to see how those two go together because that's two really big personalities.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to see how they gel. For Roman is finally truly alone. His family has moved on. Jimmy's joined back up with Jay. Sammy's gone. And of course, the as they came to be called, the Temu Bloodline, are off feuding with LA Knight and each other. So Roman, and that was kind of forecasted at the beginning of the match because Roman didn't know what to do with the Ulafala because he wasn't going to give it to Heyman because Heyman wasn't in his corner, and he just kind of like stood there for a minute with it, like I don't know what to freaking do. So he just set it down in the corner. So I'm interested to see Roman all alone by himself. I imagine Roman's going to take some time off, and we'll see him come back about SummerSlam. Feud with Rollins over Paul Heyman, probably. I'm fine with that. Whenever Roman and Rollins get together, it's usually some good shit.
Yeah.
And CM Punk has the direction of, his first two major feuds in WWE were, you shouldn't be here, you left, you're a cancer. Well, now CM Punk has the axe to grind. And also, CM Punk has been saying since he got back to WWE, I came back to make money, not make friends. He made a friend with Paul Heyman, and it bit him right in the ass. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. I was very happy with the result of the main event. I felt really, really, like, the main event was fun. You and I talked about it for a while when we were in the car charging our phones because we had no electricity.
Yes.
But no, the night one main event was great. For me, it was match of the weekend. And, it wasn't a runaway. There were still good matches over the weekend. But that one, I think, took the cake. That one definitely had story laced throughout.
Yes.
So excellent job by all three of those dudes. And I'm excited to see where we go from here with these three guys.
Agreed, yeah.
All right, so night 2 of WrestleMania. I feel like up until the main event, this was the stronger night based on match quality and just fun moments.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So night 2 started with the triple threat between Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. Now, to get the result out of the way early, Io Sky retained, and I was over the moon.
Yes.
Because I really was hoping Io Sky would retain. I felt like the story made more sense for her to retain because they kept overlooking her.
Yes. They would literally push her face away.
Yeah. So I'm glad she won. I felt like that was good for her character.
Yeah.
There was nothing from nobody. We didn't see Liv Morgan antagonizing Rhea Ripley, thank God.
Nothing from nobody.
But what I thought might happen in this match was Naomi was going to come out to try to help Bianca. Jade was going to come out to try to stop Naomi.
Oh.
or Naomi hurt Bianca. Jade come out to stop Naomi, and Jade accidentally costing Bianca, taking her out of the match. Not necessarily leading to the pinfall, but taking her out of the match.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah, but we didn't do any of that. The ending was creative, though.
Yeah.
Bianca hit Rhea with the KOD, and then while she had the pin in, Io Sky hit the moonsault. I can't talk today. She hit the moonsault and got the pin. And I think the crowd was happy with that result, too, because the crowd erupted pretty good when she won.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was... and that was a good match. That was probably the second best match of the weekend, is that triple threat.
I feel like that might be my favorite.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That was good. Those three cooked. And that makes sense, because those three are really, really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. I would like to see where this goes from here. I'd like to see Bianca take more of a heel turn. Maybe she could join back up with Naomi and assault Jade. Maybe we could do that. I feel like now, though, it's kind of out of left field. If we would have had Jade accidentally cost her the match, I think we could have justified that a little more. But I'm interested to see where we go from here. I'm interested to see what Io's challenge is. I'm interested to see what they do with Rhea. Because Rhea is she's not at Charlotte levels yet, but I do feel like they don't know what to do with Rhea if she's not around the title.
Yeah.
And that's a little worrisome. So let's not do that. We don't need more than one Charlotte Flair.
No.
So after the triple threat, if Lenny would move her ass, was Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in their Sin City Street fight. This match, I was kind of so-so on until they announced it was a Sin City Street fight, and I was like, okay, well, we're going to get a car crash match. Well, let me revise. I'm going to steal something I told you last night. I consider AEW's hardcore matches to be more car crashes, and WWE's, where they're a little more tame, is more like a bicycle crash. Not motorcycle, like literally a pedal bicycle. Because it's not as violent. But that being said, these guys were fun to watch. It's just two big dudes just beating the hell out of each other. There was a sequence toward the end of the match where it just looked like they were just going full leather and just beating the holy hell out of each other. And I'll always pop for a spot like that. I love whenever they just beat the living shit out of each other. And Gunther's really fun when that happens. Like that triple threat between Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre from Mania 39. Somewhere, someone is still feeling the hits from that match. I need Gunther to get in there with somebody again that'll just go hell for leather. That's what I want. But as far as the match itself, it was pretty good. Drew McIntyre ended up winning, which did surprise me a little bit. But that also tells me that they want to kind of keep this feud going. But also at the same time, Drew McIntyre kind of needed this. Because Priest has got the better of him at every turn. He lost the feud with Punk. So I felt like McIntyre did need a win here.
Yeah.
And it was nice for him to get a win on WrestleMania, since last year he was the laughingstock of WrestleMania. So good for Drew. You know, Drew McIntyre for me is always somebody that I'm interested to see what he's going to do and what he's going to say. So I'm interested to see where we go from here. I figure when we get to SmackDown, he's going to be pretty insufferable with his gloating. I'm here for it. So after that, we had the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title. This is the match I thought would steal the show, and it was good, but I don't know if it was still the show good. Braun Breaker.
I actually would debate between that and the women's the triple being my favorites of the night.
Yeah. There's Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. This match was just four good at this shit dudes doing shit. Carlito got out there, got involved a little bit. They had a spot where Braun Breaker jumped from one announce table to the other and speared Carlito. Yeah. I love that Braun Breaker's been on this kick over the last couple weeks of I'm just going to end Carlito. When they had that spear that they did a couple weeks ago where Braun Breaker literally was like completely horizontal and Carlito just got nerfed off the planet. I'm always here for Carlito to get his comeuppance because he's a great character to get comeuppance. Because he's not a super big threat, but he's a good little like gnat buzzing around that you can't wait to slap at the newspaper. Mm-hmm. The ending of this match, I told you a couple days before, I said, I will bet you, the way the story's going, I was like, I could see Braun retaining, but if he doesn't, it'll be because Dominic pinned Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. It was actually very similar to the ending of the women's triple threat.
Oh, maybe that's why I like them both.
Maybe. Finn Balor hit a coup de grace on, I believe it was Penta. He hit the coup de grace on. And while he was pinning Penta, Dominic came out with a frog splash, hit Finn, and pinned Finn to win the title. And got the hell out of Dodge. He took the title and ran. First of all, I'm super happy for Dominic. That dude has been fantastic over the last couple years. Ever since he turned with the Judgment Day, that dude's just been hit after hit after hit. And I'm glad to see him get rewarded for all of that. And I love that he still continues to win the gimmick, or live the gimmick, because Wade Barrett, I think, on the pre-show was talking about how he went to Dominic Mysterio and said, hey, you know, with your dad's match, you know, with your dad getting pulled from his match, you know, there's only going to be one Mysterio that's going to shine at WrestleMania. And he said Dominic's response was, well, it was going to be that way anyway. So I love that Dominic still has the chip. And I love how we don't have to feud them all the time for that chip to still be there. We could just have little side comments here and there.
Yeah.
Like, I love the, like, whenever they be in the Judgment Day and there's the little action figure Rey Mysterio holding a sign that says, I'm a deadbeat. That's all I need for you to keep telling me that those two are still at odds. I don't need them to feud for 8 years.
Yeah.
So I love when they do stuff like that. But I'm super happy for Dominic. I'm interested to see what happens between Dominic and Finn. I'd really like Finn to get another singles title before he hangs it up. Beating Dom for it, I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going to come out with this. I don't know if Dom's going to be, like, if Finn's going to kind of become a good guy or if Finn's going to go darker. I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. But I definitely think, with Braun Breaker losing the Intercontinental Championship, I really think if we're not doing a Gunther rematch with Jey Uso, this should be Jay's first feud. For the world title is Braun Breaker. Yes.
That'd be fun.
I think Braun has gotten over enough and he's skilled enough in the ring. I think we're ready to bump Braun up into the main event area.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think he's proven he can, you know, he's not surpassed the mid-card per se, but he's ready for main event stuff.
Yeah.
If you've been watching this channel long enough, you know, I have nothing but great things to say about Braun Breaker. I'm so excited to see where his career goes. And I think him as a first feud for Jay would be good. I'd hate to see him lose to Jay, but I think that would be a great first challenge for Jay for something to him to overcome. And maybe Braun does get him and Jay only has it for a couple months. I don't think WWE needs to have every world title held for a year. I think some short reigns in there could be good to kind of break some stuff up. Mm-hmm. So, after that 4-way, we had AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
No.
Or, no, we didn't. We had Randy Orton's Open Challenge. So, there was a lot of speculation on who it was going to be. I saw some speculation it was going to be Nick Aldis, because Nick Aldis stayed in RKO. The crowd during the pre-show was chanting Rusev Day, which is something I thought,
even
too.
during the show.
Yeah. A lot of people thought it was going to be Rusev. And I told you, just in passing, I was like, man, it'd be funny if it was Joe Hendry, but they're not going to put the TNA World Champion on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And Joe Hendry was who they went with, which I think is extremely clever, because I think if it would have been anybody else other than Joe Hendry, people would have been disappointed it wasn't Rusev.
Yeah.
So that was a masterful call to do Joe Hendry. Because, like, the crowd was anticipating, and it's like you knew they were like, there was an air of, oh man, it's going to be so disappointing if it's not him. And then the doors open, and you see the silhouette of Joe Hendry, and the music kicks on, and instantly the crowd's like, yes, this works. Joe Hendry, now don't get me wrong, Joe Hendry was against Randy Orton, so the match wasn't long. But Joe,
a little bit longer.
But Joe Hendry got to do some fun stuff. He got to do his stomp and clap.
Yeah.
He got to do his entrance. Everybody was involved. He even got Randy Orton, like, nodding to his music. Like,
Randy Orton did his turnaround.
Randy Orton did the turnaround at one point. The RKO at the end of the match was fun because it was the Joe Hendry did the turnaround, and it zoomed in on Joe Hendry, and then Randy Orton just comes flying in and hits him with an RKO. So that was well done. That whole match was booked because someone said, hey, wouldn't that be a funny place to do an RKO? And Randy Orton probably went, yeah, it would. And that's probably where they went from there. So this was fun. I'm very sad for Kevin Owens that he didn't get to face Randy Orton, because I know from interviews and stuff that he's done, this was something he really wanted to do, was face Randy Orton at Mania. And he posted a picture of the shirt the other day that he was going to wear his KO Mania shirt. And he's like, since this shirt will never see the light of day. And it's really sad because a lot of Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, the fun is looking forward to what his KO Mania shirts look like.
Yeah.
And the one that he posted it was a picture of him and Randy Orton, And the picture of him, it said something like, was right all along or something like that. And under Randy Orton's, it was written, not cool anymore.
Oh my God.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks Kevin Owens missed it, but, you know, great moment for Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
To get to go out there and get a WrestleMania crowd. And I think, judging by the crowd reaction, WWE is definitely going to be pursuing Joe Hendry services when his TNA contract's up.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. So after we had that, then we had AJ Styles and Logan Paul. This match was fine. I don't really care for Logan Paul, so I wasn't really paying much attention. I do know it ended like a standard Logan Paul match. One of Logan's social media buddies gets involved, distracts the face. He hits him with his steel-plated fist and pins him. I will say that Logan Paul's move, the pulverizer, is one of the coolest finishers I've ever seen. And fuck Logan Paul for having it, because it's an awesome finisher. But, you know, the match was fine. AJ Styles can still go. They kept talking about, in the match, how much time AJ Styles had left. So I kind of wonder if next year's Mania might be it for AJ Styles.
Maybe.
Because I think I saw somewhere he said he doesn't want to be wrestling when he's 50 and he's 48. So we'll see what happens there. Mm-hmm. I kind of thought Logan Paul would win because Logan lost... No, he won last year. He's only lost to Rollins at Mania. He's actually only lost one Mania match.
Yeah.
But I figured he would get this one. Like I said, match was fine. Logan Paul is good. I just don't care for him at all, so I just don't pay much attention. I know you didn't pay attention.
I didn't know.
So, after that, we had Lyra Valkyria and a mystery partner, because Bayley got taken out, against Liv and Raquel. Now, you and I speculated for a while. We're like, who's friends with Lyra? Who's got a beef with Liv?
Yeah.
And I think it was during the commercial, before the match, I looked at you and I said, it's going to be Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Everybody was happy to see her, myself included. And it's fun when Becky Lynch comes back. Now, I'm one of the biggest Becky Lynch fans you'll find. She's still my favorite women's wrestler of all time. That's, you know, against Tiffany Stratton, against everybody that I've liked. Becky Lynch is and probably always will be my favorite female wrestler. But whenever she comes back from a long break, it's always interesting to see if we're going to get crisp in the ring Becky, or any minute it looks like she's going to fall down Becky.
Yeah.
And I feel like we got a pretty good version of Becky this time.
Yeah.
What did surprise me, which it shouldn't have, but because Becky Lynch came back, but I was a little surprised that they won the tag titles, because that means that Becky Lynch made her big comeback, and then she's off to NXT on Tuesday to fight Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, which Gigi and Tatum are fine, but I don't know. When Gigi and Tatum won at Stand and Deliver, which was another good show, by the way, definitely check it out, I thought for sure Liv and Raquel were retaining.
Yeah.
Because I thought they would go down there and they would just mow through Tatum and Gigi. I still think Tatum and Gigi are going to get pulverized by Becky and Lyra, but
they usually get a good showing on NXT.
They do, and they've already played up that Tatum Paxley's like, oh, but Lyra... Like, so she's not sure what she's going to do because she's been obsessed with Lyra if you've watched NXT. Yes. When Lyra was still on.
Well, she's like my sweet...
Yeah, something like my sweet Lyra or something like that. But overall, the match was fine. I felt like it ended kind of abruptly.
I agree.
Yeah. But, you know, it did what it needed to do. I was kind of surprised also they took the title off of Liv when Dom got one, because I thought Dom and Liv would, like, carry their titles together.
Yeah, I don't agree with the winners, but
you also don't like teams that haven't been working together very long beating teams that have worked together forever.
No, I don't.
And you're not the only one that's like that.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I think if you take two people and build them up and like have time for them to work together, like I think of like RK Bro, for example.
I know this is NXT, but Sol Ruka and Zarya. Mm-hmm. That's who I thought of.
Yeah, if you just throw them in a match together, which Lyra and Becky have teamed before, but it's been months. Becky's been gone almost a year.
Yeah.
I think she left after the Saudi show when Liv Morgan beat her. I think that was the last time we saw her.
Maybe because I said something about Liv is one that took out Becky.
Yeah, Liv said she retired Becky Lynch or whatever.
Yeah.
So Becky's back. Always excited to see what she's going to do. So she'll be on Raw tonight, I'm sure. Well, last night, because this video won't post till Tuesday. But we'll see what she does. Last for night 2 is the main event between Cody and Cena. Alright, so let's, as Trick Williams would say, let's talk about it. This match, I was very excited for the story. I'm very excited for the John Cena heel turn. And anybody that's watched this channel knows, if I took a bullet for 3 people in this world, 1 is you, 2 is my brother, 3 is Cody Rhodes.
I was going to say, I better be on that freaking list.
But this match just didn't really grab... The match kind of felt weird. It was very... and I know Cena's not going to be able to go at a Cena in mid-2000s clip. But this match was just I hate to say, I was a little bored during this match. I don't know if it's because I was at the end of the second night of WrestleMania, but I didn't feel that way last year with Cody and Roman. I was hyped for Cody and Roman last year.
Yeah.
But this match it was just... I don't know. I just felt like it was so slow. And I get it. Cena was working the slow heel pace. I get that. But I just felt like it was really weirdly paced. There would be spurts of things that happened, and then they both would just, slow down for a little bit. So, I wasn't super, super thrilled with this match. The result I'm fine with. John Cena ended up winning.
Yeah.
This is another one where the ending was meh. Because in the middle of the match, after they've been down for a little bit, Travis Scott comes out. And I don't understand why Travis Scott needs to be there. I just don't... When WWE trots out their celebrities like that, I don't care. I wanted to see Cody and Cena and maybe Rock. I don't give a shit about Travis Scott.
It's never anybody I really care about.
Yeah, I don't care about Travis Scott.
If you brought out a Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, any Bravo star, you better believe I'd be invested, but I don't care about it.
If Sabrina Carpenter would have come out and taken a shot at Cody Rhodes, I'd have eaten something that you're not supposed to eat. I'd have been just unbelievably blown away by that. But Travis Scott comes out and distracts Cody. Cody gets to hit him with the crossroads. Cody still owes him a black eye, though. But he probably sued the shit out of Cody Rhodes, so Cody's not going to do that. And John Cena ended up trying to hit Cody with the belt. This is after the ref had gone down. As soon as the ref went down, I was like, okay, the shenanigans are happening. As soon as the ref went down, I knew John Cena was winning. So Cody got the belt from Cena, and he stood there forever. I
know why I don't remember any of this. I fell asleep.
Because the match was so slow.
I was like, what don't I remember in this match?
But anyway, so Cody's standing there with the belt for what felt like 5 years, debating if he's going to hit Cena. Cena's egging him on. And Cody, I think when I read his mouth, I think he just went, Christ, and dropped the belt. And then Cena just kicked him in the dick, hit him with an AA, and that was the end of the match. And John Cena won. Now, the crowd was very in Cena's corner. I don't think that's a knock against Cody. I think people just wanted to see Cena hit number 17. But I don't know. I think if the match would have been better and a little quicker and not Travis Scott laden, I think I could have gotten more behind and been more excited to see Cena win his 17th. But I remember when Cena won it, I just kind of felt like, okay. And it shouldn't have felt like that. So I don't know, between the two main events, the triple threat main event on night one blew this one out of the water.
Yeah.
Which is really sad because I was a little more excited for this one. Like I said, you even said Cena can't go like he used to. Don't expect anything special. But I expected a little more than what we got. That being said, Cena's off on his path to ruin pro wrestling. I'm interested to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see who he feuds with. Like I said, have Cody take some time off because that dude has busted his ass over the last year, made every appearance, met every fan. That dude's earned some time off to take his wife, and his daughter to Disneyland for the 800th time. But he's earned that. And I honestly think LA Knight would be a fun summer feud for John Cena. I want to watch those two go back and forth on the stick. And I swear to God, if WWE puts it in Saudi Arabia and nowhere else, I'll be fucking pissed. But that will do it for our WrestleMania coverage. Overall, WrestleMania is pretty good. I think last year's Mania was better.
You expect me to remember a year ago?
No, I don't.
Off the random like that?
I don't.
You gotta give me time to research that.
But there was definitely some really good things on this show. But there was also a lot of stuff that didn't really feel WrestleMania. But you're never You're never going to book anything exactly right, no matter who you are. You can't book a perfect WrestleMania. Well, actually, if you ask people, WrestleMania 17 was the most perfectly booked WrestleMania. That's going to do it for our show. So we'll be back next week to kind of cover the fallout from WrestleMania to see where the stories are going. That video probably won't get posted till Monday because we have somewhere to be on Saturday, so probably won't be able to record till Sunday. So that video will go out Monday, and we'll kind of talk about the fallout and what happened. Happened. Oh, anyway, like the video, share, comment your opinions. What you think of WrestleMania? Which night was better? Where does this WrestleMania rank among Triple H's 3 WrestleManias that he's booked so far? I would say this one is probably the third best one he's booked out of the 3. Oh. But I don't think it was a bad show. I just think 40 was damn near perfect, and I thought 39 was pretty solid as well. But leave a comment. Tell us your opinion. Did you think WrestleMania 41 sucked? Did you think it's the best Triple H's done so far? Leave a comment. Let us know. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Later.